Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Atlantico because it got a buff and I wanted to take it out and see how it does. But before we get into that, you guys know the deal. We are on the path to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're new to the channel and you're watching for the first time or you've been around and you like what I'm doing, make sure you guys punch that subscribe button and be a part of our journey to 50,000 subscribers. I think we can do it. But with that all being said, it's time to jump in the Atlantico. And I'll be honest, I like the ship. I hate that we don't have a decent commander for it. If we can finally get a decent commander for this thing, especially like a secondary, or God forbid, a hybrid build, but like a secondary commander, that would be amazing. I would love to get these secondaries rolling, but unfortunately we don't have that, so we're going to have to make do with what we got, and we're going to have a pretty solid match in this one. One of the things that I will say about the Atlantico is, in its current configuration, these secondaries aren't exactly the greatest. Now, I know they just got a buff, and one of the things that they got a buff with is the overall penetration. I believe these things now have 1/5 pin instead of 1/6 pin. I could be wrong. I remember reading it in the patch notes, but I forget if it went to 1/5 pin or 1/4 pin. Either way, it's supposed to be enough to pin, I believe, 39 millimeters of armor, if I remember correctly. Which is significant, because that allows you to pin a lot of the armor on most ships, with the exception of maybe some battleship belt armor or turret armor and stuff like that. But pretty much everywhere else, if these secondaries hit, they're going to do some damage. Now, obviously, because of the fact you don't have Porcupine, you don't have a lot of the secondary skills that make these secondaries better and better, you're just going to be struggling, more often than not, to get these secondaries to be useful in all but multiple battleship engagements up close. Now, these secondaries, I do believe, reach out to like, I want to say it's 9 kilometers, as is. Maybe it's 10 with this build. So at least we got a little bit of extra range here. But again, they don't reload very fast. They are hard-hitting, and they do tend to set fires if you get good RNG. But here, we're going to take a shot at this Gneisno. And honestly, it's going to be the main guns that kind of stand out in this particular fight. So unfortunate that we don't get to really test the secondaries. You can see I look over and I got a key looking at my broadside, which is never a fun situation. Now, obviously, I'm getting shot by, I believe it was a American battleship off my bow. So we want to try to look for potential here. And here I take a shot in the dark. I'm like, okay, it says that I can lob that island, so I take the shot. You know, you miss all the shots you don't take, am I right? So we take the shot, and lo and behold, not only do we hit him, but we actually Citadel a key at range and hit 5 out of the 10 shells. That's not bad. I'll take that any day of the week. What I wasn't prepared for is the fact that there is an enemy tier 5, I know, tier 5 destroyer who's about to YOLO me right about any moment. Wait for it. Yeah, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get YOLO'd by a destroyer. Maybe it's not yet. Maybe it's after I reverse and try to take some shots around the island. That's probably what it is. But yeah, we've had a pretty solid start. 39,000 damage already inside 4 minutes is pretty good. Like, you can't really argue with that from a battleship standpoint, especially a battleship that doesn't have, like, commanders or anything. You're stuck with the generic commander that just doesn't give you anything useful, really, for a battleship, other than the fully packed giving you an extra heal, extra secondary booster, and stuff like that. Plus, if you're close enough to allies, you can actually utilize the fully packed to reload your consumables faster. But I bet you've probably already noticed that we are nowhere near an ally, because am I ever? Let's be real. Let's be real here. Am I ever near an ally? No. My allies always find the first island they can hide behind, and I'm out here slugging it out for my dear life. And we take a shot at the Key. Key is very low health. He's going to get finished off any moment, and down he goes. So we've done our job. We're up to 43,000 damage. 43, always the best number, but we would prefer to, you know, add a little bit more damage to that. So we have a Nagato out here. We have a couple of more battleships, and this is where, oh my god, Mayhem inside 2 kilometers. Come on, get the guns around. Now, this is where you have to be on guard, right? Like, you know you're going to take a torpedo. You just got to try to do damage initially and then trick him into, like, screwing this up. Now, we take one. Doesn't cause a flood because American torpedoes. I would have really liked to have seen what those secondaries do, but fortunately, for once in my life, I got someone who helped me. If you guys know the song, leave it down in the comments below who you think sang it better. Personally, I like me some good old-fashioned Stevie Wonder, but I will say this, that there was another singer that sang it really well, and I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. I want to say it was... I can't remember his name. There was another one that sang it really well, and he's a newer singer. But yeah, either way, we managed to survive. We only took one torpedo in that engagement, so that was a win. And now we managed to help with the teammates. They are starting to move towards us, which is great. You love to see it anytime that you're in these situations. Now, I know the Key has torpedoes. I'm not a dummy. Guess who else has torpedoes? Egg and Eiseno. Fortunately for us, they're all just sailing broadside, and neither of them really giving us any sort of, like, threat of torpedoes. Like, neither of these guys are like, I got torpedoes, I should try to use them. Maybe they're like me, and they just forget that they have them. I'm so used to not having torpedoes on battleships, because I don't play torpedo battleships very often, that a lot of times I just forget that I have them. Like, as you guys saw in the video with the Iwami, like, I just completely forgot. I'm being charged down by a Yami. Torpedoes would have come in real handy, and I just completely forgot that I have them. It's just what it is. So maybe these guys are the same. Maybe they just forget that they have torpedoes and they're trying to play relatively well. The Key is at least trying to stay somewhat angled. But you can see these secondaries are doing some work. These big old 100... Wait, no, they're not 150. These are the 239 millimeter? God, I forget all the stats. You'd think I would remember all this stuff, but they're big. They're big. They're literally British heavy cruiser guns as secondaries because reasons. But here we're gonna shred that superstructure up close, and now we took a hit from the right. We're gonna go ahead and concede the fact that that guy's gonna punch us and just turn away and hope for the best. He actually doesn't manage to land another shot. Cleveland, however, is going to continue to try to punch us, which is preferable because he's only 7 kilometers away. And even with my limited range, which is honestly the biggest issue that I have with this ship currently, isn't necessarily that the secondaries aren't good. It's actually the fact that you're stuck with a generic commander and you don't have any range. So a lot of situations, you just can't hit them. And of course, the Cleveland manages to land a hit on us as he dies, and that, of course, is a perma-fire, as you would expect. But it's not the end of the world. It wasn't a double. We're going to survive this. We also have 2 more heals, and the entire enemy team is dead, with the exception of the carrier, who is driving forward. We've got 102,000 damage in this one. We managed to set 3 fires. We got 68 hits with the secondaries. We shot down a plane. We got a Citadel. We got 41 hits with the main guns. Overall, it was a pretty solid game for the Atlantico, and it's matches like this that really do make you hope that sometime down the line that we get a better commander that really allows you to increase the strengths of this particular ship. Because if they do that, I expect this thing to become more than just a meme ship. This thing is going to be nasty. If you can get some accuracy out of these guns at range, if you can get these secondaries to start reloading a little faster and being more accurate, like, I'm telling you, don't sleep on this ship, man. It'll tear you up. But fortunately for us, the Parsifal is actually charging forward, which means we get extra shots. And here you can see one of those things that drives me crazy is when I go to fire a full broadside, and for whatever reasons the guns don't say that they're able to fire, even though they clearly were in firing arc. It's just a little delay. It just drives me crazy because I like to have all my guns fire at the same time, or at least close. But yeah, 109,000 damage. Not a bad game whatsoever. A nice little showcase for this ship, and showing, you know, a little bit of hope, a little glimmer of hope for the future. If we can get one good brawler sort of secondary or a hybrid build for this thing, I'm going to be happy. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, folks.